A very good morning to everyone. Today, I would like to present about the LOVE strategy in higher education, a qualitative explorations of employee commitment and engagement among UniRazak staff. So, I'm the main author of this study. My name is Dr. Hemaloshinee Vasudevan, and followed by the co-authors, that is Dr. Hamida binti Muhammad and Dr. Chok Moyi. We are from Universiti Tun Abdul Razak, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Today, the presentations will be introduced the LOVE strategy that include listening, opportunity, value, energy, and how it relates to employee engagement and commitment in a higher education setting at UniRazak. That I would like to briefly cover the study rationale, approach, main themes, and implications for institutional practice. The background and rationales of the study will be related toward the higher education's institutions, which is receiving a big contributions attentions from the Malaysian government. The government allocated a sizable budget for educations annually to ensure these funds are used effectively to achieve deserved outcome that provide a reasonable return on investment. The key factors such as transformations, communication, and employee engagements are to announce organizational productivity that contribute in generating valuable energy patterns from both superiors and employee. As today's workforce priorities work-life balance, organizations must implement holistic strategy that value employee skill, personal aspirations, and free time. In that case, the LOVE models contributes a lot to the many organizations to emphasize the skills and knowledge, but underinvest in relations and psychological drivers. So the LOVE model targets into interpersonal and engagement gaps in the workplace. The aims and research questions that appeared in these studies actually to explore how employees perceive LOVE characteristics in announcing engagement and commitment at UniRazak. Organizations announce listening effort to monitor oppositions, lower uncertainty, and boost commitment to change, while effective listening can improve employee engagement and trust challenges arise due to insufficient system, procedures, resources, and skills. So that it's focused on two key research questions. The first is, how do employees view LOVE in boosting engagement with peers? Second questions will be, how do the four characteristics contribute to engagement and organizational effectiveness? The problem statements that we identified from this study is, in generally, high employee engagement is usually associated with employees who have a high levels of confidence, intelligence, percent choice, and concentrations in using valuable resources to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of the organizations. Employee engagement at work is a sign of commitment or responsibility in carrying out their duties and providing their full attention to their job. However, the influence of environmental factors in each situation plays a huge role in the work engagement of an employee in their job. In addition, employees expect productivity from their employees. So, it is illogical if there is less employee engagement in the work situation, and it is a factor that cannot be ignored if the employers needs commitment and steady productivity. In that sense, organizations set up their listening efforts to keep track of oppositions, reduce uncertainty, and straighten change commitment. Although organizations' listening has been shown to increase employee engagement and trust, it is structure, resources, and skill set. Most employees who indicated they find less value in their job reported lower levels of energy and resilience in their overall life compared to employees who said they find focusing on work to achieving organizational strategy. The efficiency and energy of management can overcome the problem of document loss caused by employee neglections, which is a characteristic sought to achieve high productivity. According to Gallup 2006, the main cause of work engagement is the suitability of the types of work with the individual himself. In additional, employee expect productivity, value and energy from their employees. In this study, employees and organizations must play their role successfully to promote work engagement in the workplace in any area that affect an employee. As a result, the LOVE model was developed to pinpoint the 4 factors, which is listening, opportunity, value, and energy that directly affect people or employees' engagement and dedications when implementing transformation and succession planning to get respect from the workforce in organizations. By the way, the literature review that we would like to explain here about successful implementations of this strategy necessitates commitments for all personnel levels within the organizations. To announce organizational productivity, key alignments include listening, sizing, opportunity, delivering value, maintaining energy, effective communications from superior and employee engagement. A crucial alignment of organizational effectiveness and competitiveness is work engagement, which actively engage employee anger to excel. So, the key factors influencing these engagements are trust and succession planning. In this study, the LOVE model strategy is shown to enhance employee engagement, which in return boosts productivity and organizational growth. The strategy incorporates 4 key characteristics that aim to fostering clear communications and strategy decision making among engaged employees. LOVE strategy involves engaging employees in genuine relationship with various aspects of their work, including roles, strategy, and performance to enhance their daily tasks and drive successful outcome. So this is the LOVE model that I would like to explain clearly, which is related to the propositions of the study. L stand for listening, which is covered 3 dimensions, that is communications, feedback, and reactions. O stand for opportunity, that include perform successions and recognition as sub-theme. V stand for value, and the sub-themes will be psychological safety, trust, and shaping. E stand for energy, that include transformations and reward, which can lead to the employee commitment and employee engagement that achieve the overall transformations of organizational performance. So these are the LOVE model that evaluated in this study to present employee engagement and commitment, which is emphasized the role in boosting organizational productivity and growth. So the study propositions that summarize in this study will be included with research questions and gap explanations. P1 will be fall under research questions, how employees view the idea of LOVE model in terms of boosting their engagement with other employees in organizations. Then the second propositions, third, fourth, and fifth will be fall under research question. How do these 4 characteristics contribute to boosting employee engagement and organizational effectiveness? So that the propositions 1, LOVE model announce employees' engagement in organizations, that explain about gap, which is related to the LOVE model strategy, which is effective for achieving organizations' goals in the context of global economics. In the context of organizations' reward, employee engagement and organizations' commitment are different variables, complement each other. But on the other hand, researchers need to review and build career development opportunities to add the value to the organization. So these are the gaps that we find from the propositions 1. For the propositions 2, that related to the research question, how do these 4 characteristics contribute to boosting employee engagement and organizations' effectiveness? It will be carried on with the listening, announce employee commitment and engagement. So listening, announce employee commitment and engagement can be explained with the gap. Training can furnish numerous advantages for employees in higher education institution, likely to broaden their knowledge, listening skill, and potential to be efficient team members, upgrade their career development opportunity, and increase their recognitions, which is found by the Kabira Moya 2023 and Vasudevan ETL 2023. So the proposition 3, opportunity increase employee commitment and engagements for recognitions, explains with the gap by identifying employee engagement activities help company cultivate a positive workplace culture that announces engagement, opportunity, motivations, and productivity from Ruby 2023. Work environment and opportunity for employee growth are key factor in organization's competitiveness. That is, belongs to the propositions 3. Propositions 4, which is indicate about value increase reward employee commitments and employee engagements through trust and successions, that is covered in the organizations in terms of organization context. An effective reward system is crucial for enhancing an organization effectiveness and value. Insufficient rewards and recognition contribute to dismiss value and trust in the organization, impacting its success. So for the propositions 5, energy help to strengthen employee engagement for response successions and recognitions. The gap that we can feel from these propositions 5 is worker productivity issues include increased error rate, decreased collaboration energy, absenteeism, and job durations affecting all industry. Rather than that, workload-related stress and successions can reduce employees' energy, commitment, and engagement, leading to decreased performance at both individual and organizations level. So these are the study propositions that we can explain based on the LOVE model. The LOVE model represents into identifications of employee engagements and commitment, which is emphasize the role in boosting organization productivity and growth. Researchers analyze various characteristics of the LOVE strategy that stand for listening, opportunity, value, and energy, which is aimed at announcing employee engagement. This framework is supported by several theories, including perceived organizational support theory, social exchange theory, and self-determination theory, which is providing a solid foundations for the study. According to N.C. Berger, Humans and Emily, 1997, individuals who perceive high organization support are more likely to seek validations and anticipate recognitions for exceeding job roles. A loving workplace foster an environment of care and value, announcing employee engagements and commitment to their responsibility. So these are the two important factors to consider regarding worker involvement, trust and successions. According to Gilly ETL 2023, business success and digital transformation hinge on the relationship between leaders and their followers. By the way, for the social exchange theory, which is suggested organizations that care for their employee inspire positive feeling, attitude, and behavior in return opportunity strategy to enhance the employee motivations and foster a culture of engagement, which is leading to increased productivity, improved retention rate, and overall business success through recognitions. So psychological identifications, self-determination theory as a key tools for enhancing internal motivations, emphasizing that these motivations arise from meeting fundamental needs or autonomy, competency, and relatedness. The theory practically implications are particularly relevant in health policy, especially regarding smoking behavior. Based on this model or framework, employees with high work engagements and commitment are characterized by their energy, resilience, and dedications. They show patience and excitement in their roles, fully embracing themselves in their work and losing track of time while performing their duty. So these are the framework that explains and supported by the theory. For the design and setting, that renamed as the methodology. So the details of methodology and data collections that we are looking for this study segregated into few components. First of all is semi-structure interview, which is conducted into two categories, that is sections 1 and sections 2. Sections 2, the love model is perceived by employee as a way to enhance their engagement with colleagues within organizations. So the main focus is explorations. How do employee view the idea of love model? For the second sections, the main focus on explore how the 4 characteristics in enhancing employee engagement and organizational effectiveness. The thematic analysis will reveal the themes from the data that may impact the construct, objective, hypothesis, and practices in education. So in vivo coding process support this by identifying diverse perspectives within the sections. The 2 focus group discussions will be conducted according to the semi-structured interview based on the policy, organization's policy impacting engagement and challenging in implementing engaging strategy within higher education institutions. So each sections include 4 to 7 participants and lasts about 60 to 90 minutes. The sampling for this study is purposive sampling to select participants with at least 5 years of teaching experience in higher educations from UniRazak. So the theme analysis will be identified for the key themes and patterns in the qualitative data. The research design will be 2 ways, qualitative methods. One is semi-structured interviews that will be conducted over 2 days in April 2026 using Google Meet. The data analysis will be carried on using NVivo software for coding for identifications of key terms. Data interpretation and disseminations will be published the study result in academic journal and presented them in the conference as well. So the population's target group unit of analysis will be academic staff at UniRazak, appropriately 60 to 65. So this study focuses on academic staff at UniRazak with at least 5 years of teaching experience in higher educations from private or public university. So due to data saturations, 4 to 7 participants were involved in the interview sections via Google Meet applications. So the ethical consideration, the research team obtained informed consents from all participants, maintain confidential of data and allow them to withdraw from the study without any penalty. So the next slide will be result overview according to the themes by love dimensions. So if you are looking into this table, you can see we have theme, sub-theme, and sample evidence. Theme will be covered listening, opportunity, value, energy, and followed by the sub-theme to support the theme. Listening have sub-themes, supportive superiors, recognitions as listening, mediated voice. For the opportunity, growth via challenge, leadership push, continuous learning. For the value, we have sub-theme, recognitions, fair, evaluations, emotional support. And the last is energy. We will look into workload as growth, culture, recharge, and flexibility. So the sample evidence is the questions that we are referred to the themes and sub-themes. The theme 1, listening. Listening related to the trust, recognition, and voice. So the definitions of the theme 1, listening is the construct that goes beyond formal communications to encompass trust, recognition, and psychological safety. So what the participant is indicating about this theme 1 is to share information, particularly with top management, highlighting a disconnect between micro level and micro level listening, as noted in earlier focus group discussion. So in the second focus group discussion sections, participate reframe listening on acknowledgement and trust, with one participant stating that being noticed and acknowledged by management indicated they were heard even without direct communications. This reflects the coding category of recognition as listening, where acknowledgement act as a proxy for validating their voice. These findings collaborate previous research indicating that organization listening boosts employee trust, engagement, and commitment to change, while also improving relations, understanding, and psychological safety. However, some employees favor discussion concern within peer networks rather than with top management to reveal weakness in institutions' listening mechanism, and partially collaborating hierarchy structure can impede effective organizations listening. So the second theme will be opportunity. Opportunity relate to the growth through challenge, trust, and institutional push. So opportunity is a key term in focus group discussion, where the institution is perceived as a development space that promote growth through explorations, challenges, and leadership interventions. One participant expressed increased confidence, stating, "I'm really learning a lot. Now you can put me in any university I can teach," highlighting the transformative impact of their experience. So in the second section of focus group discussion presented the idea of leadership driven push, indicating that senior management not only make opportunity valuable but also actively promote them. A participant remarked on the demanding expectations for higher education, saying, "I give you 1 year, I want the master's, then I want the PhD." Perhaps being initially challenging, these expectations were viewed as fostering long-term professional development. So this finding, reinforced by Quintana and Karam 2019, that meaningful career development arises from transforming workplace experience into personal growth. So the next theme will be value and energy, Team 3 and Team 4. Team 3, the value related to the recognition, fairness, and holistic appreciation. So the participant noted, "Student recognize me, that is my value." Illustrating that value comes not only from management, but also from peers and students, highlighting a multi-source validation system. A participant noted that dispute being on medical leave, their contributions before were evaluated. These highlight a human-centric approach to performance management, enhancing perceptions of fairness and trust. So these findings support by Weiss 2003 highlighted that recognition and appreciation enhance employee attitude and engagement. Theme 4, which is related to energy sustained through culture and workload. One participant articulated that the workload is not a pressure, it tests, indicating a growth-oriented mindset, a vital energy source highlighted in both focus group discussion was the positive workplace culture with an emphasis on supported colleagues and non-toxic environment. So this finding support by the Kaushi 2023, indicating that engaged employee display vigor, dedications, and perceive when work feel meaningful and manageable. A supportive workplace culture characterized by positive relationship and collaborations, which is announced moral and reduce stress, fostering continuous employee engagement and institutional pressure. These findings support work engagement theory, which is highlighted that engagement is maintained through dedication, observations when organization fosters supportive environment that balance workload demands with autonomy and emotional well-being. So in this case, I would like to conclude by looking into open door policy implication and conclusions. Contributions on implementing open door policy at higher education institutions. So the United States implemented the open door policy, but Malaysia has not adopted it due to a lack of sufficient attention for widespread use across all organizations. So this policy addresses workplace dispute, professional development, and organizational protocol. However, it is crucial to note that it is being not applied to all institutions, particularly those involving sensitive or confidential information that promotes open dialogue. The policy established a systematic approach for addressing employee complaints, protecting productivity dialogues, and necessary changes. It empowers individuals and nurtures a culture of lifelong learning, with the open door policy serving as an effective tool to enhance respect, collaborations, and openness within the company. So this policy is important as it establishes an open door approach for manager, facilitating employee communications through various channels such as text, phone, messaging platform, or in-person meeting. Perhaps having this policy in organizations will help employees engage and commit successfully, because it is vital for workplace communications. So I would like to suggest that an open door policy attract a steady stream of individuals to undermine the time management plans that promote corporations' value, opportunity, open listening, and trust within the organizations. By the way, this policy establishes a healthy work atmosphere by allowing employees to freely express concern, exchange ideas, and ask higher managements for help. Practically, this is a principles like honesty, moral, and carrying out duties in an ethical manner are things that we should all strive to live by, particularly those who work in higher education. Moreover, a more inclusive and transparent workplace to create an open door policy is aligns with the LOVE model approach. It facilitates direct communications between staff member and management, which can build trust, problem-solving skill, and idea exchange. This approach creates a more positive work environment by raising employee moral commitment, engagement, and satisfactions. So I'd like to conclude about this study. LOVE operates as an interconnected system with looking into dimension reinforcements, engagement, and commitment. Practical directions will help human-centric HR policy to be improved in terms of communication system development, pathway, and fairness. So the recognitions, flexibility, and well-being is very important for the workers and employees in the organizations to ensure that they can benefit this LOVE model for both in the workplace and the organizations too. The recommendations of open door policy in terms of academics, economy, and national institutions by utilizing LOVE models will be beneficial for the Malaysian higher educations, which is addressing two main research questions, as I indicated in the previous study. Adopting the open door policy into LOVE model in Malaysia education institutions will revitalize into economy by allowing employees to voice concerns, provide feedback, and seek guidance from upper management. So the finding demonstrate that the LOVE model, which is stand for listening, opportunity, value, and energy, function as an interconnected employee engagement system in which each dimension's reinforcement and sustain employee commitment at the same time. It's also enhance employee perceptions of value by signing managerial trust, recognition, and investment in their professional growth. Thank you very much for listening my presentations.